Welcome to Take 10 today. Pull the car over. Go to the quiet side of the library and put your earphones in. Move out of your office. Go take a walk. Go do something. But I want to talk to you today because there's a high cost that's hitting every one of us. And for the kingdom to move forward, you cannot afford to do nothing. You must do what is in your heart. That's why God puts it in people's hearts. The biggest killers, and I have a whole series about dream killers, and you probably should go back on, I don't know where they all are, YouTube, ICCI, a ministry launch, in your emails, just unbelievable ways to get to it, podcast, and that's a great idea. Just get on the podcast and stay there, and it'll come to you every day. But here's the problem. There is not enough encouragement for someone who's a big thinker. We are still killing Joseph. We are still wiping out Joseph because, we think maybe they can't do it, or we think, I tried it, it didn't work. Well, we never think that God is the one who creates the workmanship in a person, that he cleverly designs a person for what he wants them to do, and it is God, not the devil, God that puts opportunity in front of you that you must either embrace or reject. Now, God's not going to get mad at you if you embrace an opportunity and fail, or if you reject an opportunity that you should have. I'm perfect witness of that. But I will tell you the most important thing in all of this is that you must have a faith partner. I want to be your faith partner. I'm coming to you on these podcasts to not always speak good stuff. If you go back and look at the other things that we spoke many times about your responsibility in keeping yourself clean and pure and live for the Lord and walk right. But when it comes to moving forward, you have to have other people that encourage you. Someone told me one time, go where you're celebrated. Boy, was that a mouthful. And is that unbelievable? Well, at the ICCI, we always are celebrating people because we do not look at failure, we look at growth. We look at things that can come. We say, well, I don't see any growth, I see failure. Honey, you need some new glasses. Maybe you got cataracts. Maybe you got religious cataracts all over your eyes and you need an operation. I can tell you this, if all you see is no, you're not in faith. Faith encourages one another. Mark 11:24. Remember, faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by what? By the word of God. Paul said they had their salvation, but they heard nothing else, and it didn't give them any value. This is a value inspection point. Check yourself. Mark 11:24. Mark writes, therefore, I tell you. Now, how much stronger can you get? Therefore, I tell you. I mean, if somebody said, I'm going to tell you something. You got to listen to that. I'm going to tell you something. You listen to every negative person. Listen to this positive person coming at you right now. Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. I'm not talking about fantastical thoughts. I'm talking about I'm not talking about fantasy prayers or blame it and claim it, and because you're going to blame somebody else for doing it, that it didn't come to pass because you claimed it and it didn't happen, and blah, blah, blah. No, or blabbing. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about the opportunity that is costing you everything that's before you, that God says, let me have a chance at it. Have you earnestly asked in prayer? Oh, I pray all the time. When you went to prayer, did you take a pencil and paper or your iPad? Did you write? Did you ask God a question on paper? Did you write maybe what the ideas were that you could see later? It was the voice of God giving you instructions on how to achieve and to accomplish the impossible. God is not a slap-happy God. God is not a 1, 2, 3 God that says, go get them. God is a multi-layered, multi-level God that you have to study to show yourself approved in every market you get into, in every life. So whether it's the church you're trying to move forward, or it's your business you're trying to move forward, or it's your nonprofit organization you're trying to, your marriage, nothing comes without risk of investment. So you have to move forward in it. So he said, what you're doing is kind of preachy. He said, therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it. Inspection point. Ask yourself, do I believe that I have received it? Now, the last part is so powerful. It says, and it will be yours. So I asked for a Rolls Royce one time and didn't get it. Well, if you can't get a Volkswagen, you probably won't get a Rolls Royce. There are principles of patterns of traffic. And the economics of the way you operate will put you to a place that goes right back to whatever you're asking for in prayer, or you believing that you have received it, and it will be yours. Well, yes, I did. I asked the Lord. No, did you go back and check your foundation of faith? Do you believe your workmanship, who you are, who your attitude, is that made by God? Are there things in you that you need to get rid of so that you can actually respond to the workmanship that he put into you? My thought process enables one other thing today. Because to believe that you have received it, you got to be able to see it. See it coming. Do something about it. Can you see the effects it would have all the way around? Every opportunity has the negatives and the positives. Every opportunity has the ability to reach into the spiritual heaven or to go into the evils of hell. Everything you do has a soul atmosphere of its own, and you have to be close to God in your walk with God so that when you ask for things in prayer, you can see the right thing. Somebody told me the other day, well, don't pay any attention to these flash thoughts that you have. That's of the devil. So God's going to give you a vision that's of the devil. It didn't say that he's going to send you out into the world to only preach the gospel. We are all to do that. Every believer, every preacher. But he said he made you for good works. What are you doing for good works? What will be your history? Well, they were a good pastor. What about their good works? Feed, clothe. I remember some wonderful Hutterite people that I know very well up in the state of Minnesota. Every time I talk to the guy will say to me, I'll say to him, how y'all doing? He said, well, we're feeding the poor. Their whole focus is that they have what they have. Yes, they have unbelievable harvest crops. They have unbelievable shops, and they have unbelievable equipment to manage. This particular group has stainless steel shops. Unbelievable. But it is all in their head. We want to feed the poor. Been that way for generations. So I would say that God made them as workmen and gave them all these different opportunities so that they could fund and do the bottom line of what they are doing. I know that's the case in my life. Believed that I received it. It became mine. At times there are financial hardships and I have to go back and remind myself how to be funded by God. And we'll talk about that in times to come, but somewhere in your mind today, as you leave this podcast, as you leave this broadcast, you go and say to yourself, let me inspect what I expect. I'm going to inspect what I've asked in prayer. I want to see if I'm actually doing what the children of Israel did and asked for a king when God didn't really want me to have a king, but he gave it to me and it's hindered me. I want to see if maybe I made some misjudgments in my belief pattern, and I want it to be an encouragement to others. So today, go encourage somebody else. You feeling down, feeling low, feel like you can't get going? There's a high cost of doing nothing. When you get off of this call, when you get off of this podcast, when you get off of this broadcast, go and call someone and encourage them. Send an email. Get out of yourself for just a minute. And when we come back, you're going to see what God is up to in your life. Something's fixing to move forward. Don't miss the next segment of Take 10. God bless you.